Hey, Monica and Allison, it's me, Katie D. Phillies. I am here to talk to you today about 3.2C. Um, I am going to provide a summary of my lesson. I figured it would be easier for me to just show you what I do with the students. So these are what we call chat books, and we use them to teach our core vocabulary word. And I thought I was going with the word see, but this week I ended up going with the word help. So, for example, the students are trying to use this word as many times as possible. They take the core vocabulary word help and they put it into the story. When I need something to open, I say help. And this is what they're doing. Then we're turning the page and they're doing the next one. When I need to put on clothes, I say help. And then we're trying to either say the word, touch the word on their core board, or put the word into the story. So any of that is success criteria for my students. This is the core vocabulary board. The word help is right down here. So if a student touches the word help, I would take that as a plus. If they say the word help, I would take that as a plus. If they put it into the book, that would be another plus. So this is what I was doing with the students already in small group. Now, what I decided to do to add in some differentiation was I took it to the next level and expected them to be able to do this now in large group sessions. So I found a boom card. It wasn't the one I thought I was going to use, but let me change it. And here is an example of what I did in the large group for students to talk to me. So how do firefighters help us? And for this one, you slide it over and then you slide it down. You can't see it right now because let me move this bar. Hold on. They help by putting out fires. So again, I would want the student to say, they help us. All right. And then we would go to the next one. How do police officers help us? They help by keeping us safe. Right? They help by keeping us safe. So then here's the next one. How do doctors help us? They help us by helping us stay healthy. So a lot of the exposure of the why is provided by me, the SLP or the teacher, but they're understanding that all these different people help. And we have to use the word help to communicate. So my success criteria is a data sheet that I have right here. I know it's probably hard to see, but I will show you an example of one of the goals that is on there. This is one of the students' goals that I'm working on in this lesson. So during child or adult led activities, the student will improve expressive language skills by producing at least 75 novel utterances. That's the overall goal. So she's not working on 75 words right now, but you do 25 at a time. So 25, 50, 75. And if you see, I'm going to go back to this because I don't want to give any confidential information away. I'm going to put this up nice and close to the screen. So what I have here is for the student, I have marked 3 times right here that she did it and 3 times that she did not do it. And then that's going to give me a percentage. In small group, that's where I was taking my data right here. And then the next student actually did very well. He used it 6 times. And then if you go to the back, this student used it 6 times as well. He's doing really great. And then this student down here, he pointed to it 6 times. And I have just written that down so that I know that he did not verbally say it, but he pointed to it. So that's the data that I was taking in small groups. So then once we did the large group activity on the computer board, what I did was I had one of the assistants taking the data for me since I was leading the lesson. I would look to the assistant and either say to mark down what they did. So unfortunately, the student that I first started this with for large groups, she made no attempts. So there's nothing written down on this side of the paper for my success criteria. But that student that was doing really good, he used it 3 times. So there's 3 pluses here. And if you look at the students on the back, that we've got 3 more here. And then this student did it 1 time and did not the other 2 times. So that is my success criteria, is my data sheet. Um, and then I just want to scroll down and make sure I didn't miss anything else. I said, why did I select this pathway? Because there's many different types of technology that I was looking forward to using with students. Boom cards were new to me at the beginning of this, so I was glad to take the time to explore. Um, I already went over this. This was my lesson plan for what we were doing. This is related to the Illinois Early Learning Standard of being curious and interested, in learning new words or heard. So my success criteria was my data sheet, and then I will compare that data over the 3 weeks to get if she's progressing or mastered that goal. In terms of Kathak, I feel like my knowledge, I had a strong base for understanding the importance of differentiation with students. My attitude towards differentiation has remained consistent through this course. I feel like it's very important that we differentiate. And I also like to see the importance of personalization for students. Oh, and I'm glad I wrote myself that note because this is the core board we're used for everybody. And recently we started to make a masked board like this for a student. So this is an example of personalization because this student needed it's specific for his learning vocabulary. And he also really likes some of these words. And so we're trying to go with his likes to see if he could use that more effectively. Let me see, where was I? My skills have increased, and I'm looking for utilizing more technology into my lessons and going from small group to large group to work on some of those student IEP goals. My aspirations continue to grow for my speech and language practice and following expectations for this class. I would like to try to continue using that technology to see if that generalization can occur for students' language and expressive language skills. And in terms of behaviors, I think it's now easier for me to look at the options to differentiate, even within classrooms. So I have self contained classrooms and I have blended classrooms. And I always thought it was easier to differentiate in the blended classrooms because you have IEP students and typically developing students. But now I see that I could differentiate even in my special education classrooms because of the different levels of students. And also because of their different learning styles. So trying to make sure that I'm going with their interests and things. For this little guy, for this personalization of this board, we're using this specifically when he's requesting and wanting some trucks and vehicles. So again, going with his interests to make that personalization happen. All right, I think that is it. And I have really enjoyed this class. I hope. Oh, one last thing I wanted to say. I originally thought that I talked to Allison about making a choice board for therapy. And I realized that it's definitely something I would consider and look into maybe over the summer when I have more time because I started to do it and I realized it was going to take me way too long for this class. So it was going to go way beyond the 3 hours. So still in my toolbox for options just because I liked looking at this different options for this class. And I think if I give 3 options for students in therapy, they might really like that. And to see it visually would really help them. So sometimes I already have those options available. Like, do you want to use cards? Do you want to use the computer? Do you want to use the iPad? But if I lay it out like this, they would be able to see it better and it would be a lot easier to pull up for therapy. So that's kind of something I want to do in the future, or if you guys ever have differentiation class part 2. All right, thanks. Bye.